Previously on Side Tangent. Is there like a food combination that you eat that people find weird?
Oh,
Because for me, a Pop Tart and then I put some butter on it.
bruh.
Don't look at me like that.
And I think I'm proud to say that I feel like I'm a very unpicky person when it comes to foods.
I will pull up the clip where you say you really want to try bull testicles, but heaven forbid that you try a Pop Tart with butter on it.
Because it's a Pop Tart.
If this video gets 100 likes, Parker will eat a Pop Tart with butter on it.
This is upsetting to me.
Eat.
It's just because there's enough of the fans wanted it. This upsets me.
No way. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Pause for Effect.
Oh.
Side Tangent. It's your boy Jared.
Hi, it's Parker. Hello.
It's been a minute since we've talked to you guys. We have recently just come off of our super awesome Metal Gear Solid series. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Parker goes into depth of the first 5 Metal Gear Solid games. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Did I say something wrong?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said, never mind. It's not important. I'm not the one to talk.
My bad. We dive in deep into the Metal Gear Solid lore from Metal Gears 1 and 2, and then Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, and 3. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out on YouTube, Spotify, all that stuff. Now we're back to your regularly scheduled program where it's just two bros getting off topic. Parker, how the heck are you, man?
I'm good. I've just been listening to the soundtrack of Tron Legacy.
In preparation for Tron Ares?
In preparation for Tron Ares.
Which comes out this week as we're filming.
When the episode releases, it will probably have just come out.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
So...
I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be bad.
I am not a Jared Leto fan at all.
I'm not either.
Something about him is so unsettling to me. And I don't think we're the only one. I think that's a very popular...
I know he wasn't cool to like work with on the first Suicide Squad, I think.
That's what I heard. He like left like a dead mouse or something in front of like Margot Robbie's trailer or something.
Among other things, yeah.
Yeah. Weird guy.
Yeah.
People named Jared tend to be like me.
Yeah. But... despite him being in it, I still kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those movies where I think the action and the aesthetic of it kind of make up. Like, they're all winners. It is the color changing.
Yes, yeah. We'll just make it purple.
It's purple up in this.
Does it look okay?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. This is really random, but the last time I went to Disneyland, before you were
converted.
Before I became extreme in my beliefs.
Your eyes were open.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going next week.
I'm going to ignore that. No, I'm joking. It was kind of cool. It was like late at night, I think right before the fireworks went off, and they had a Tron parade because...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Tron Legacy had just come out, but maybe it was like some anniversary for Tron Legacy. So everyone was like, all the cast members would dress up with like the Tron colors, and they had like glow sticks and stuff, and it looked really cool.
I remember Disney Channel made a big deal because they sewed lights into their suits.
In the movie? Or?
Yeah, like they actually had lights, like there were actual lights, which I thought was cool as a kid, but now that I'm older, I'm like, who cares?
Well, have you seen the original Tron movie from the 80s?
I have not. So what's funny, when I watched the movie, I didn't know that was like a sequel.
I didn't either at first.
I've never seen the original.
Isn't it funny that we both watched it and we're just like, yeah, this guy's dad just lives in the internet, and we didn't really...
Yeah, I just thought it was one of those fun little things.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little detail. It's like, oh, this is a normal dude, and by the way, my dad's in the internet.
Yeah. Dude, I really like Legacy. I don't think it's a perfect movie.
I need to give it another shot. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I'm sure nostalgia is making me like it too much. But I think it's cool. Like, I think the music's cool. It has Daft Punk. Pardon me. It has Daft Punk. It's cool setting. The action's cool.
I thought just like the tournament style of like throwing the disc reminds me of is it battle bending? Pro bending?
Pro bending.
Yeah, in
from
Avatar. Legends of Korra, I should say, to be exact.
No, we say you know what? Okay, I hate that my whole life I've had to. Whenever I say Avatar, I have to then say like,
Clock it.
yeah. I hate that the blue people Avatar, Alien Pocahontas, is given precedent for that title. Last Airbender is better. I will always say Avatar, and they'll be like, "Which one do you mean?" Like the right one, and then I'll just say blue people.
I called it Legends of Korra because it's called Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I know. Well,
is it called Avatar: Legends of Korra?
No. It's maybe they call it Legend.
So that rant was for nothing.
No, I just don't think James Cameron Avatar is as good as Last Airbender Avatar.
Dude, you know what's funny? We were just talking about this at work. This might ruffle some feathers. Avatar, like the blue people Avatar, it's not as good as people make it out to be.
I agree.
And it didn't age as well as people think. It's just Pocahontas.
It's just Pocahontas, and they done it twice. The movie's the same. Both of them are.
I actually haven't seen the second one yet. Maybe I need to watch it to have a better
opinion. It's basically the same.
The original Avatar. My problem is now I'll give it its flowers. Like the effects, special effects, way ahead of its time.
As a technical showcase.
Until this day, and we watched it recently, it holds up. It is a great movie, but people act like it was Bullet Train. No, I'm kidding.
Do you remember though when it came out? I don't even remember what grade I was in, but people were freaking out about it. Like everyone, apparently there was news stories of people that were getting depressed because they couldn't live in Pandora. That's how. And that's what I'm saying. Because the weird kind of bed things that they sleep in that are like flowers. That's kind of cool, but it's just
my favorite part of the world is the lizards that when they go away they all of a sudden turn into helicopters and they're like. Zzz. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Dude, you gotta. It's so.
Oh my
it's
gosh!
such a funny,
I've seen both of them, and I don't.
This?
That's the thing. I think they're both forgettable.
Yeah, and it's a good movie. I'm not a hater. I don't think it's an awful movie, but people need to chill out with it.
Yeah.
Same thing like Christopher Nolan movies. We gotta chill out. I think people need to understand things are just because they're great does not mean they're not it doesn't have to be perfect to be an all-time classic. It's okay for things to have criticism. Except for Bullet Train.
Except for Bullet Train, of course.
Yeah, love Bullet Train. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't think I'd be going on this rant either, but I like Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I have a lot of friends who never saw Star Wars, and whenever you bring up, I've never seen Star Wars at school or just with friends or stuff, the reaction of everyone is always
you might as well kill someone.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone freaks out, and I get it. I think for a lot of people, Star Wars is kind of almost a spiritual experience. It's one of the most genre defining and genre spanning works of fiction out there. But I think as a fan, your main goal, if you meet someone that's not part of your fandom, is to get them in. You want them to drink the Kool-Aid with you, and shaming them is not going to do that.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Because it might be different because we're anime fans, and anime fans are far more desperate to get people to join the fandom with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like we would never shame someone. You show me a meme where someone talked about how they've received more pressure to watch anime than do drugs.
Honestly, yeah.
But
no one pressures you more than anime fans.
But I can't stand whenever a Star Wars fan shames someone for not liking Star Wars or not watching it, because then that's going to make it that more difficult for me or any other Star Wars fan to get that person into the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah, it's a weird balance of the things that you like the movies you like aren't perfect, but also it's okay.
You got to trick them. You got to trick them into thinking you're not obsessed with it.
To be honest, I started that thought. I have no idea where I was going with what I was saying. I'm glad you kept going you knew what I was saying, but my thought stopped there, and it was going nowhere.
Because the works of fiction we like are perfect because of the thoughts and emotions we have with it.
Dude,
so
whoa. Whoa, clock it.
Whoa.
That's what the kids are saying these days. Clock it.
Are they really?
Well, yeah, so do it. Clock it. Clock it.
But I know. My favorite thing in this world is when I like something and I can get someone addicted to it as well.
Yeah.
That sounds bad. Don't clock that.
Do drugs. That's what you're saying.
So I just think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that should be the main focus of any fandom. And so I think with a lot of fandoms, Star Wars especially, we all need to Calm down.
Along those lines too, it's like it's weird. I also don't like people who are gatekeepy. Like they don't want. Like I'm like
that's
like it's okay if people like it. It's exciting.
Exactly.
Like it's like the thing we were talking about here. Like there's some people, like some high schoolers here. At least when we were in high school, it's like they would they would tape a piece of paper over their radio so people don't know what songs they are. So you're known as the kid at school that has the good songs.
Which is crazy.
People would like trade songs and stuff.
But the whole fun thing, like if I found an obscure band, I'd want more people to know about them, because then like they're successful and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. That's fun to like have a bigger group to talk about it with.
Dude, yeah. To balance, people, share what you like and don't be weird about it. Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Speaking of movies, because I really wanted to talk about this, and speaking of anime, the Demon Slayer Infinity Cancel movie, cancel. Oh my gosh! Okay,
the Infinity Cancel Culture movie,
Demon Slayer movie has come out.
Yes,
we watched it. I watched it 3 times.
You did watch it 3 times.
Not that I'm a diehard Demon Slayer
for the podcast.
Fan. Yeah, just for this, I did my research, did my due diligence. What'd you think of it?
Before that, is it the #1 movie in Japan right now, or the?
It did break. Oh, dude, I don't know if it's the #1 animated movie of all time. I know that it beat Mugen Train's record.
Then probably because I think Spirited Away is a Ghibli film. I think it was #1 in Japan, and then I think Mugen Train beat it.
And then Infinity Castle beat that.
That's crazy. So it's probably, I mean, we could Google it, but we won't. We'll just go off of hearsay. It's probably the #1 movie in Japan right now, and probably, I would guess, #1 animated anime film. I should say anime film of all time. And it's basically because the show's been going on for a couple years now, and what would have been like last several episodes, it's basically just like a huge fight where the forces of good and evil are just fighting it out. It's kind of like the final fight in Harry Potter, I guess, for lack of a better example, where it's just like everyone's
that's a good way to put it.
Converging on one location, and it's just who's going to live and who's going to die. And instead of making it like another season and several episodes, they're doing basically the next couple of story beats as movies, like 3 movies, I think.
Yeah, so there's gonna be 2 more after this one.
There's gonna be 2 more. So, in terms of plot development, if that's what you're looking for, doesn't have that. It really just has fighting, and that's what I came for, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and so talking about the movie, I'm gonna do two different spoiler alerts. This is the first spoiler. This is spoiling the movie itself.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do another spoiler, and in the video, and then I'll do a voiceover telling people when to skip. Is spoilers of the whole entire story, because I have.
So we're really spoiling.
Yeah. Okay. I'll warn people ahead of time. So if you want to skip it, I'll let you know when we're going to be talking about other crap.
Mm-hmm.
The movie itself, I saw there was a creator, I believe his name's Danny Moda, on TikTok. He put it really perfectly. It's the best and worst parts of Demon Slayer, and like the best being the fights were. Fantastic.
Some of the greatest animated works of art ever.
Specifically Gyu versus Aka. So when Gyu awakens his mark, that was like, I watched that one a lot. I don't know if I like it better than the Tengen fight. It's hard to say because the Tengen fight, I've seen it multiple times since then. But man, that was good. The worst parts being the garbage pacing, which I think most people on the internet agree with. It's just like the really intense moment and just stops it. For a freaking flashback.
Oh yeah, for those who don't watch it, Demon Slayer has a bad habit of when they're fighting a demon. A demon's, I guess, like a vampire-esque, where they like used to be human, and after they defeat an important demon, oftentimes in Demon Slayer you learn their backstory and how they became a demon, and it's sweet because they're being put to peace. But it's like, exactly. Where it's like crazy action, suddenly it's just stopped. And it's like, we're going to learn a new character story for the next hour.
Right. And so, things I loved about the movie were the fights, obviously. I loved Shinobu, the Insect Hashiro's like stand against Doma. I think it's just like, people give her a lot of crap because she's weak, physically weak. And I think that was the whole point of it. And I like the idea that she put up a fight despite that, even though Doma was kind of messing with her. And like, obviously, I loved Gyu. I love that Tanjiro and Akaza connected again. My beef, though, and I've told you this multiple times, is this is like my, like, if you agree with me, say it in the comments, or if you disagree, say whatever you want, I guess. But I have a hard time with how the show has handled Gyu and Tanjiro's relationship. One, I think Gyu's the first person that we meet in Demon Slayer, and they don't really like. They have a little bit in the Hashira training arc, but they don't really have that strong of a connection. It feels kind of forced, and they don't dive deep enough into it. And so because of that, I have a hard time. That I feel like Gyu didn't have an emotional reason to be in that fight against Akaza, and it kind of I rewatched Mugen Train in between this stretch of time, and the Rengoku fight was so emotional, and obviously Tanjiro had an emotional reason to be in the fight, and it feels like it kind of like downplays what happened with Rengoku because it doesn't even talk about it that much. Like Akaza brings it up a couple of times, but I wish Gyu had an emotional reason to be in that fight. Either one, they dove deeper into why him and Tanjiro's relationship, or Rengoku mentions that the Water Hashira and the Flame Hashira, they've always been one of those two, or they've always been in one of the Hashira, and there's always been a rivalry, but it doesn't really dive into Rengoku and Gyu's rivalry. They don't show it at all, actually.
Because Gyu's too busy being ostracized.
Yeah, too busy being like a loser, I guess. A loser who shouldn't have survived. But yeah, I don't know. That was my biggest beef with it. A lot of, like the backstory is a lot of people have complaints about, but I just wish Gyu had an emotional reason to be in the fight. Which is why, if I had it my way, in my opinion, I think the Akaza fight should have been Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, and Zenitsu should never have. I feel like Kaikaku should never have been a character. I think they were throwing it in there. I think they
could have maybe like led up to it a bit better.
Well, like here's another problem with it. All three of those fights that happened in the show, Zenitsu's getting revenge, Shinobu's getting revenge, Kanao, Shinobu's sister, is now getting revenge. Tanjiro's getting revenge on Rengoku, and then Gyu was mad because he got his back hurt. Like there's too much revenge. It's like small spoiler that's gonna happen later too. Is like revenge is kind of becomes like a trend. And it's like maybe that's the theme of the show, but I don't know. I think Kaikaku should have never been a character, and Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Tanjiro should have fought Akaza, the three of them, because we've never seen them three fight together, except for I guess we do see them fight together. I lied against Upper Moon 6, but
it's been a while.
Yeah, and we haven't seen them. We like until the very end of the show, we never see them fight together, and so I don't know. I think that should have been how they do it. And then Gyu,
what you just said is also major spoilers, or.
Kinda. They don't know who they're fighting. Frick. You're right. Dang it. Anyways, I think that Gyu should fight Doma with Shinobu because they have a close relationship, because they actually explored that. So I don't know. I feel like that I'm saying all that based off of what the show does present to us. But then I have my own theory. I have my own opinions of how. Maybe I'll do an episode of how I think Demon Slayer should go.
I would love that. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So that's just I don't know.
Is that what you wanted to say about Demon Slayer?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't really like your attitude about
this.
No,
sorry.
Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted to like go on a side tangent, or if you were like, if there's still steam in the tank.
Well, I will say about. Now this is the spoiler for the rest of the story.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for. Yeah.
Sorry, I was giving you the opportunity to share something with me, but you didn't.
I didn't. I wasted it.
Sorry. So this is spoilers for the manga. So if you are only an anime watcher, I would skip now, and then I'll put in the comments, and I'll do a voiceover after I record this episode of when to start back up. Mm-hmm. But in the manga, we know that we'll find this out in the next movie or two. Is that Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo is going to fight Gyome, Sanemi, Tokito, and then Genya. And they defeat him. Spoiler. Well, I guess if someone's
whatever. I guess, yeah.
My another beef I have is that Tanjiro and Upper Moon 1 never meet. Which is kind of crazy. Yeah, that's so annoying because his whole story being that he could never do sun breathing and he's never like lived up to his younger brother is that, and then the only person that can do sun breathing, they don't interact.
And I like, yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. That's another problem I have. And so this is like trying to rearrange things. If I had it my way, is that if you keep Inosuke or if you keep Zenitsu fighting Kaikaku, whatever, then another person that would have been a good matchup against Upper Moon 2 would have been Sanemi. Because I don't know if you know, I don't know if this is canon. I think Shinobu's older sister and Sanemi had like a relationship or something like that. Where they were really close. Either way, though, something about
that.
Sanemi's anger and Doma's like just like trolling almost the way he fights. That interaction would have been super boss. Plus, Doma's ice, like he uses his fans. Sanemi has wind, and so it's like a clash of like ice wind versus like Hashira wind. That would have been really cool. I think that Doma's fight in particular in the manga, because Shinobu poisons him,
which is awesome,
which is cool. But then the two people that fight him are Inosuke and Kanao, and they're significantly weaker. And it took a sun like Tanjiro's sun breathing, and then the water Hashira to defeat Akaza. But then two non Hashira, and then the weakest Hashira versus Upper Moon 2, and then Upper Moon 1 takes. Is it 3 Hashira and then 1 non Hashira?
That's like a weird
like
power
it's just like the power
scaling
scaling thing. And like Doma, like I don't know. I think the chemistry, like the battle between Sanemi and Doma would have been really funny and like entertaining. And I think Sanemi would have had a reason to fight Doma.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't know. The power scaling for the Upper Moons is kind of annoying to me too, because only 2 people defeat an Upper Moon by themselves, and that's Zenitsu, it's Zenitsu. Granted, I know the Upper Moon he fought wasn't fully complete, like fully mastered their skills yet. And then Tokito, Muichiro, like they're the only 2 that kill one by themselves. I've been going on a lot of rants here, but yeah, I don't know. I think Demon Slayer, it's like it gets a lot of like people hate on the story a lot, which I think is unfair, but I do have problems with it. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like I love Demon Slayer. I think it's a great, like I love watching the show. Like it's like been a bridge between people who don't like anime. Mm-hmm. It's been a good gateway for them. Mm-hmm. And I think it does a great job of doing that. And it's cool what it's cool what it's added to pop culture in general. Mm-hmm. Like it's fun being an anime fan and like watching it grow so much and being like it's fun. Some people hate it, but I do have problems with it, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's life.
Should we end the spoilers here?
Oh yes, spoilers end now. We're not talking about Demon Slayer anymore. Unless you had some things to say.
Well, I just think you brought up an interesting point about gateway anime.
Yeah.
We should because I think those are important to figure out. I think the best gateway anime, I guess I would count Demon Slayer now just because it's so popular. So if you have a friend that's trying to get into anime and they like trends, that's a good one. I think that if you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, or Avatar, as it should be called, then they should be introduced to Full Metal Alchemist, because I feel like Full Metal Alchemist is very similar to Avatar. Yeah. But I think the number one gateway anime is Erased.
That's my wife doesn't really like anime, and she's tried it a few times. I've tried it, and she's liked a few, but Erased she really likes.
If you're like kind of curious about anime, I think that's the best one to start with, because it feels, it's almost kind of like Stranger Things escorts, but like just one season. Stranger Things, but in Japan, very kind of mystery-ish, and then there's not any there's upsetting stuff, but like
not like the weird anime stuff that people think of.
Yeah, it doesn't have, you won't be ashamed if anyone ever walks in. So it's like a good thing to like look into, like see if you like, because some people just don't like watching stories in animated or like cartoon senses. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the best one to start with. Yeah.
Another one I always like to introduce people to is My Hero Academia. It does have the anime tropes that people are weirded out by, but I think it's a good, like, people who like the superhero things because of Marvel. My Hero Academia was always a good one. That was until we watched 2B Hero X.
Yes.
Now, I said this in a previous episode. 2B Hero X is going to be anime of the year, and I stand by that still.
When do we find out? Do they vote?
I have no idea when it is. And I don't know who decides. But I think it should be I think it deserves anime of the year. It is the most fun I've ever had watching an anime in a long time.
We finished the season.
Yes, season 1 has officially ended. And for those of you who are interested in anime and need a new anime suggestion, 2B Hero X, there's not a main character, but it's this world where being a hero is a job. I hear it's compared to The Boys a lot. I haven't seen The Boys. Maybe you know better, but it's pretty much in a world where being a superhero is a job, and your powers are based off of people's trust in you, and it's just trust. And so there's like a number on your wrist that tells you like your trust value, and the more and more people trust you, the more powerful you are, and the public's perception of you kind of creates your powers. For example, there's a girl who was a travel vlogger, and then people liked her so much that she gained the power to teleport, something like that.
But then it can also have like negative aspects where this same travel vlogger was seen as kind of like this perfect girl, and then there was this perceived perfect boy.
Yeah.
And they wanted, like, everyone kind of shipped them, that their fans wanted them to be together, and suddenly she could only teleport towards him.
Right. And so the public's perception of you pretty much controls your power and how strong you are. And then the show is interesting, though, because there's not a main character. And so there's the rankings. And so it kind of goes through different heroes who are fighting for the top ranks. And then every few episodes, it completely changes the perspective, and it goes to a different part in time of this certain hero, and then how they got, maybe it's their origin story or where they're at currently. And then slowly the entire story comes together. So it's like 10 different heroes are slowly coming together. And then there's just clues and Easter eggs in each episode. And so I had so much fun, like watching each episode every week and seeing what clues we have and then trying to put it together. I felt like the meme where the guy's like, and I don't know. So if anyone's looking for an anime recommendation, highly recommend. It's like the only thing I talk about right now is To Be Hero X. I've had so much fun watching it.
Another thing that should be commented on is the animation style. Super
Dude, why
unique.
Did I miss that? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of the episodes, not always, they kind of somewhat switch the animation style for each of these different like characters, but a lot of the episodes are in 3D. Kind of almost looks like Spider-Verse, where it's like a cool stylized look. But then a lot of elements are 2D, and then whenever they get into a fight, it often turns into 2D.
Yeah, and it just has like a switch from 3D to 2D, and then sometimes it even added some random different kinds of animations. So like for anyone that's into animation and like art
just
styles
the art
and
form,
stuff,
yeah,
To Be Hero X is such a fun one
it's
to watch.
a joy. I feel like the animators, I hope they had so much fun doing it, because you can just use so many different styles.
Yeah,
Or maybe they hated it because it was really tough.
I'm not sure,
but I'm thankful that they did it.
Yeah, so check out To Be Hero X. The fun part about it is not based off of any kind of manga. There's no source material. It's original show, so there's no spoilers. So we can't look ahead to try to figure out what's going to happen in the story.
Which I'm off to do.
Yeah, which we did with Demon Slayer and almost every anime we've watched so far. Yeah, dude. Didn't think we talked this much about anime this episode so far. So I'm going to change the subject completely.
Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit about this. I tried this new bit with some friends. And so I wanted to workshop it with the people who are listening and watching right now, and tell me if you think this is a good idea or not. This new bit where you're in a car with someone and they're playing music, and then whatever song it is, which in this case it was August by Taylor Swift, and you're like, "Hey, have you guys heard the song August by Taylor Swift?" And it's the song that's currently playing. And let me tell you, like, as far as jokes that just don't land, that one completely didn't like. Just dropped completely. And I don't think there's a worse feeling than telling a joke that just doesn't land. I think we both have good ways to combat that. One thing that you do a lot is that, like, whenever a joke does land, you just go, "Well, that didn't land." It's like, "Well, that wasn't as fun as I thought it was gonna be." I think it like it's almost like the sunken cost fallacy, where it just kind of like you're like, "Well, cut my losses," and then people kind of chuckle at that, and then you kind of gain some of it back.
Yeah, it gives everyone an opportunity to laugh, and then we can all move on.
Yeah, I think owning it helps. It's when you don't own it. Ugh, nothing's worse than someone that tries to double down on the joke.
That's the worst.
Ooh, we know some people who are like that.
Yeah,
and they just keep going with the joke, and it's just not going to work. I had this comment made to me on my mission, because I was like that. I would just kind of keep going with the joke until someone got laughed, and this one guy looks at me, he's like, "Dude, one thing I respect about you is that you will keep going until someone laughs. Like, you do not give up on the bit, and you shouldn't." And I agree, persistence is key. But sometimes you gotta know when it's time.
But you can change your strategy.
Yeah. So this is my tip to everyone here. This is something I've been doing and it's been working. Whenever a joke doesn't land, pretend to pull out a notebook and just go, and then put it back. It really helps.
That's pretty good.
It really helps with the tension. Like I said, sunken costs. You didn't get the laugh you wanted. They're not all winners. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that wisdom with the people listening today.
Something else that you used to do, another recovery, is that if it didn't land, you would look off in the distance and start singing sadly to yourself. That made me laugh. I thought that was good.
Are you being serious? I never did that.
Yeah, you did.
What would I do? Wait.
It's like a song from Big Bang Theory or something. Dude, like Nobody Knows or something.
Are you sure this was me?
Yeah, it
Wait,
was.
dude,
No, who else would do this? Of course it was you.
Another thing is the whole dude. I don't remember that at all. I really
Okay,
don't.
well you did.
Okay. It must have been your other brown friend,
You
which you do
did
have
it.
at least one. Another thing is the whole like you tell a joke, it doesn't land. You're like someone. It's like 1 second, Dad. You pretend to pull out your AirPod. What was that, guys? My dad thought this joke was so funny.
I also like the recovery of like immediately changing the subject, but like the quicker you do it after you ended your joke, like you say a bad joke and you're like, yeah, so anyways, I was doing this instead.
So anyways, I don't know. I think I've been very fascinated by comedy. I'm not going to try to be a stand-up comedian or anything. That takes a special kind of skill, which I think you have actually. I've always said this. I think if it wasn't so scary to be a stand-up comedian, like I think you have a knack for storytelling, which essentially was what people are doing, and I think you'd be a great stand-up comedian.
But stand-up comedians are so smart. First off, the fact that like, because I stand-up comedians have talked about this, how like almost your first couple of sessions you always get no reaction.
Right.
I couldn't deal with that at all.
No.
The second I got no reaction, I would be like, I'd just walk off.
Yeah.
And reading the room.
I respect people like I'm very fascinated by comedy in general, and like stand-up comedians, like what you just said, like the grind. I can't even imagine. Like singing is one thing, because singing is like the average person could appreciate good singing. I think maybe I'm wrong in thinking that, but comedy is like it's truly not for everyone. Like what you like your jokes, like it's like there's truly like it's never going to be for everyone, and that's just how it is. And so like people who grind it through and like get to like some of the famous comedians today and stuff, like I'm like very impressive. But what's very fascinating to me is like the different types of comedy. And it's hard to like explain it because like I'm sure there's like a science behind it and like there are studies behind it, but
there is a science and there's even like a philosophy that's existed since like Plato, I think. But the whole thing is like we don't know if this actually is applicable. We just think this is why we find these things funny, but we don't know because it's because humans are so complex.
Like the concept of irony, like I can understand, I can wrap my head around that, but just like I'm like watching different kinds of comedy movies, like there's very like I always bring up What We Do in the Shadows because the comedy is so nuanced. Like they just say random, like it's just like they say something so in passing in What We Do in the Shadows that's like that's hilarious to me. But then like someone gets hit in the crotch and you're like, that's funny too. Like I don't know what it is. It's just I say all that to say is that when people try too hard to be funny, like you know what, Parker, this is one of those situations where I don't know where I was going with that. Like I had, dude, I might be tired or something because I had a deep thought in my head just now and I started talking and it didn't go anywhere.
I feel like you're going towards the point of just like it's so complex so that it's okay if your joke doesn't land, it's okay to recover because it's complex.
Yeah. You know what? This is why I appreciate you, dude. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Is like there's a lot of ways to be funny. And so when some people try too hard, it's like it's not gonna work. They're not all winners. Not all songs are bangers. But move on to the next one. I think a rule of thumb, and it's not presumptuous of me to say that I'm a funny person, but like one thing that helps me is that I say things that I think are funny. And so like if all else fails, like at least I thought it was funny. Yesterday at work, I was waiting for Emily to be done with work, and so I'm just sitting in the lobby, and then one of my coworkers is working next to me, and it echoes in the lobby, like it's pretty loud echo, and so I was looking at memes, and I have to I'll put it in the video of like the meme that was making me laugh, but I was literally sitting there like trying not to laugh. I was like I think it looked like I was crying. I was like tearing up. I was like I kept looking up with a straight face. I was just like. And it wasn't even that funny of a meme, but I thought it was so funny in the time.
Isn't that so much better? Like, things are so much funnier when you can't laugh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one time I was in church, and there was a guy, like, we were in, like, Sunday school class, and there was a guy in the class that, like, he just kept interrupting everyone. And this is not that... I was visiting this church this week. It was, like, a family. I was out of town, and I'm sitting next to one of my cousins, and this guy is like sharing a really deep thought, and then he gets interrupted by the guy. He just looks at him like he stares at me like he's like staring, and I was like, trying so hard to laugh, and I was visiting. I was like, it's like so. It's not even that funny, but it's oh man, it was. There's nothing. I think there's no better feelings. Sometimes I think about times that I laughed hard, like what I'm doing right now. Be by myself, and then I start laughing at the idea of laughing hard. It's dumb. Remember the time you tried to sarcastically laugh to make fun of us, and then you started making yourself actually laugh?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And you were like, you couldn't stop. Oh man, I don't know. I went on a lot of side tangents today, which I apologize. Which I guess that's the nature of the show. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I think it's good. You think it's good?
Yeah,
are you good?
I love it,
dude. Any last words for the people?
I still don't think butter belongs on Pop-Tarts, but
you liked it. Come on, you liked it. Anyways, thanks for being a good sport about it. Thanks for actually eating it. Well, guys, thanks for watching another episode of Side Tangent. We love you all. We love doing this. Mm-hmm. We love being friends. Parker loves me more than that. Kind of weird. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great week.
How dare you?
Catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.